October 14, 1943. 26,000 feet above Schweinfurt, Germany. The contrails are blooded white and gray, drifting trails across a frozen sky. Somewhere below, sunlight flashes off rivers and rail yards, but no one inside the bombers dares to look down. The air smells of oil, sweat, and metal warmed by machine guns. In the low left position of the 100th Bomb Group's lead formation, Lieutenant Jack Warren grips the control column of his B-17F Lucky Lady. Through his right window he can see the rest of the box formation holding tight. A block of humanity in riveted steel, lumbering at 150 knots toward target. Above and to the right, the sun burns directly into his face. "Tail to pilot," comes the radio crackle from Sergeant Murphy in the tail turret. "Bandits diving, 10 o'clock high." Warren confirms with a glance. Black crosses slicing through contrails, Messerschmitt 109s peeling down in pairs, engines shrieking in the thin air. The formation braces. Gunners along the wing shoulder belts and sweep the skies with arcs of tracer fire. The Luftwaffe attack doesn't come from above, it never does. Instead, the fighters slide under the formation's belly and pivot upward on strafing runs, 20mm cannons punching lines of orange through vapor. And every pilot in the low left knows what that means. The Coffin Corner. It's the closest plane to open sky and the easiest mark for climbing attacks. For years, bomb groups have joked grimly that the only thing more dangerous than leading the box was flying its back left corner. Warren banks slightly, holding formation even as bullets tear through the port wing of the next ship over. "Keep her steady, Jack," the co-pilot, Lieutenant Harland, mutters. "If we scatter they'll pick us off like flies." A Me-109 rips up from below, flashes past the tail window, and shears away to the right, belly guns hammering at a crippled fortress in the group's outer ring. The B-17 takes fire in the wing root, fuel igniting in a blossom of smoke before it rolls and falls away. There's no parachute. "Tail, you tracking?" Warren shouts through the interphone. "On him. Got smoke, he's breaking right." Murphy's reply turns into a growl as 50 caliber Brownings hammer out their rhythm. Brass casings rattle down the fuselage like iron rain. The fighter bursts into flame, a brief torch before disintegrating mid-air. A cheer runs through the intercom, half relief, half shock. "Don't celebrate," says Harland quietly. "They'll be back in 30 seconds. And they are. FW-190s this time, diving head-on and peeling under. Their shells chew across the B-17's aluminum belly, holes the size of fists opening between ribs. A fragment slices through the radio operator's table, grazing his shoulder. "Radio's out," he yells. But the ball still spins. In the belly turret, Corporal Presson grips his yoke, trying to separate blue sky from black smoke. His guns spark short, bright lines against climbing fighters that vanish faster than his tracers can reach. "They're coming from low left again," he reports, the place he is himself guarding. The interphone cuts briefly to static, then a thunderclap. Portside aircraft Miss Marie detonates in mid-climb, wings folding in a perfect cross before she disintegrates. Debris streaks past the Lucky Lady's cockpit like stones in a storm. For 30 minutes, the Luftwaffe tears at the formation. Jagdgeschwader 3 and 26, veterans of every sky, descending and climbing, using the glare and contrails as cover. Each new sortie hits the same corner. Every surviving B-17 pilot can feel its pull, the gravitational weight of watching your periphery die first. When the last bombs fall over Schweinfurt's ball-bearing factories, only 36 of the day's 60 bombers will make it back to England. The rest lie across the Bavarian countryside in smoking lines of twisted aluminum. In the official after-action report, one notation stands out from page 3, enemy exploited low left flank repeatedly. Crews refer to region as Coffin Corner. The nickname sticks. Every briefing after that day circles the lower left quadrant on formation diagrams in red pencil. Pilots mutter prayers when assigned to it. Ground crews leave quiet notes in chalk on their fuselages. "Fly high, stay tight and watch your corner." But by winter the ghosts of Schweinfurt start to fade. A new model of Flying Fortress rolls down the production lines, heavier, meaner, and with teeth where none existed before. February 20, 1944. Over northern Germany, 25,000 feet up, a new line of silver fortresses crosses into enemy airspace. The mission, Leipzig. The goal, factories feeding the same Luftwaffe that once consumed entire bomber wings. But these are not quite the same planes that bled over Schweinfurt. Captain Jack Warren, older now, leaner, flying a rebuilt ship named Lucky Lady 2, knows it before wheels even leave Bassingbourn's frost-white runway. The B-17's now rumbling skyward are the new G models. Chin turrets up front, thicker perspex, boosted. 50 calibers set like porcupine spines across every angle of attack. Where once the cockpit nose was glass and hope, now a twin-gun ball peers forward like a warning. The formation climbs through overcast. Contrails twist into ribbons above the North Sea. As sunlight hits their wings, Coffin Corner shifts into view, the same low-left perimeter that cost Warren half a crew last autumn. Someone in the top turret jokes over intercom, I guess I drew the short straw again. No short straws this time, Warren answers. We're not the ones running anymore. His radio picks up chatter. Fighters inbound from the south, 109s and 190s rising fast off Bremen. Gunners clear arcs, safety locks click in sequence. This time though a separate voice cuts across the cosmic hum. Blue flight, this is Eagle lead, little friends are up. The words draw every eye upward. 15,000 feet above the bombers at 40 miles an hour faster and painted reflex silver, a weaving pattern of newly arrived North American P-51 Mustangs slices the sky. Long-range escorts, the revolution the crews had begged for since the first men froze and burned their way to Regensburg. The Luftwaffe strikes anyway, banking from out of the cloud decks. But now, when the fighters dip toward the formation's low left flank, something new greets them. Crossfire hammered fire from chin turret, cheek guns, and waist positions linking in a lethal triangle. In Lucky Lady 2's co-pilot seat, Lieutenant Harlan spots two 190s pushing in from 9 o'clock low. Here they come. Corner again. Warren keeps the bomber steady. Let the gunners do their work. At the front, Sergeant Howard in the new twin. 50 chin turret rotates hard right. Guachin. Range 600. His electric assembly whirs to life, sight beads crossing until steel rings glow orange with the light of an oncoming sun. He squints, breath fogging the glass. Firing. Twin concentric arcs of tracer jump from the nose, the first true forward sting a flying fortress ever had. One hits the lead fighter's gearbox, the other rips across its left wing root. The 190 flips end over end, trailing an arc of fire and fragments that scatter like confetti in the slipstream. His wingman breaks off too late, turns into the belly turret's crosshairs, and vanishes in the bloom of 50 cal glare. 2 down. Howard yells. No gaps on this flank. The joy borders on disbelief. Men so used to dying on their corners they scarcely know how to celebrate survival. Over the intercom, tail gunner Murphy starts laughing. How about that coffin boy? Now we bury them instead. Warren permits a grin. Easy gunner. Keep it clean till Leipzig. Outside, the formation rolls deeper into Germany, an airborne fortress of overlapping arcs. The new chin turrets have erased the blind spot. Fire from the bottom left now meshes with ball turret, waist and tail, each ship covering the next. At 10:40 hours the Luftwaffe renews. 40 fighters come slicing through the sun, determined to pry open the same seam that once guaranteed them kills. They never reach it. The escorts dive through like hawks, P-47S first, P-51S folding behind. Radio waves burst with code chatter, machine gun rhythm sinking to engine roar. Splash one, he's smoking. That 109's mine, tally another. Keep below the bombers. Warren watches one Mustang glide under the box to chase a damaged 190. That's new, he mutters. Above them, anti-fighter sweeps forming a canopy. None of this existed months ago. Minutes later, silence falls, the rarest kind of silence in the 8th Air Force. One made of exhaustion, not loss. Count it, Harlan says, scanning the horizon. We still have 48 ships in the box. We started with 48, Warren replies. They cross the target zone under perfect formation. Bomb bay doors yawn open in mechanical unison, releasing 12,000 pounds of bombs over the machine plants of Leipzig. The vibration rolls through the fuselage like thunder finding its echo. At 11:32, course turns west. Fighter cover still above, the once deadly corner gleams intact. Gun barrels blacken from overwork. By the time Lucky Lady 2 lands back at Bassingbourn's wet strip, only 2 bullet holes mark her aluminum skin. One in the tail, one in a wingtip. Ground crewmen blink as they run Geiger counters over armor plate and used to such survival. A sergeant who worked her sister ship at Schweinfurt says quietly, "Guess the corner's not cursed anymore." Warren climbs down from the cockpit, boots hitting the mud, and looks back up at his bomber's nose. The chin turret glints under England's washed-out sun. He pats the metal once. Coffin Corner, he says to no one specific. More like a firing pit. Over the next months, as Mustangs push deeper and fortresses grow deadlier, the Luftwaffe's gamble on close interception collapses. The hunters of the low left now become hunted. And when German pilots brief for sortie, the diagrams warn of one place to avoid first. The same red pencil circle as before, but this time marked with one word. Danger.